Like if you play back like this, if you're on defense and you only hold behind this line here, and you're like all the way back here, you're gonna have a rough time. Let's get started. So today we're gonna cover bind. Bind used to be pretty like standard map, like standard way of playing it. Like Viper is a staple. You would have this setup with the Viper wall on both sides. It kind of look like this. And then you'd have like, your Brimstone. Brimstone is a staple. Raze is a staple on this map. And this is kind of how it was. And then you would place in here, you'd usually place like a double initiator, like a Sky and a Fade or a Sova or any initiator really. But this is basically how it used to be. And with Vise, things have changed a little bit. Like the new meta has changed things. Now Viper is still like used a lot, but it's very hard to use. It's like this map, it can be very challenging because you have to be very good at defaulting. Okay, defaulting is like probably the most important thing to do on this map. And part of that is because, like, just when you look at the layout, you kind of, on attack, you need to get control of one of these areas, one of these lanes on the map, in order to have, like, a decent push on the site. If you only have one, it can get tricky. Or if you don't have any, you play all the way back, you kind of give the defenders a lot of space. Some of the things are still the same, but with the Vise, it's kind of like if you go up against a Vice, it's harder to just rush a site because of the wall. So you kind of need to be able to default. So like last season, I had the teams kind of run like double duelists because we could just brute force a lot of this and not have to worry about defaulting as much. But if you go up against a Vice, it might be difficult. We've seen it on other maps. Like Pearl, for example, is very hard to get through a Vice setup because they have the wall and the defenders could just place a wall down and then just forget about it. And it was just an impenetrable force. Go up against a Vice, you're gonna have to bait out the setup. You're gonna have to take space and then rotate and then go back and coordinate a site hit. It's just gonna take good comms and a good leader. Basically, when there's chaos, we need one clear voice to sort through that chaos. Okay, let's kind of first of all let's kind of look at this Viper lineup here. In case we do want to run Viper, I'll just show you. Let's see. I'll just show you how to do it really quick. But basically, I line up my like triangle with this thing, and I posted a video for everyone to watch so you could see it. But basically, the good thing about this wall is it covers hookah and long, and then it also covers showers. So if your defenders on the other side of the map want to aggro showers and like get the orb, for example, it makes it way easier to contest showers because they don't have to deal with this long angle at the end. So you might see that a lot on whether you run a Viper or not. The other team, I mean, they're probably going to run Vise, Viper, or both. So we need to know how to counter it, whether we're running it or not. Okay. And then what the attackers do is they'll usually throw like a wall like this, and then they'll throw a lineup that lands here. And this has been meta for years. But what is this wall used for? You guys know?
To get into U-Haul.
Yeah, yeah. And it's the benefit of it is like you can't have somebody just watch a short from this position here. Like if there's no wall, they can just hold short and just have all the info, or someone can hold it from all the way back here and just have info. But when this wall comes up, the only way to get info on this lane is to have someone in U-Haul, basically. And the smoke here, what that does with the wall is it also blocks that info. So what you can do is you can place both these up. You could have your team walk up with it and then drop the smoke, clear this angle, and you could be all the way into U-Haul without the defenders knowing, right? So it's very common. It also blocks one of the sides of short, which can work for you. Can also be kind of at your detriment when you're on attack. But you'll see this a lot, and basically, who knows how to counter this wall? Does anyone know? Say you're on defense. How do we counter this wall?
Usually Senti and utility, no?
Yeah, you could have like if you're on Vise, you could have like Vise things pop when this wall comes up, so you can hear if they're going through it. Or like if you have a cipher, you have cam or a tripwire, you put like a tripwire across. Or you can just go aggro. You can just like when this wall comes up, you could have like a sky flash through the smoke and through the wall and actually aggro it and kind of force the issue. But really, it's just the first step, guys. Just being aware of what this setup is and what it does. So if it happens to you in a game, you know what the enemies are trying to do with it. And this will be placed every single round. If there's a Viper in the enemy team, they'll probably place this every single round, do this step every single round, but they might not use it. And we've talked about this concept before, and it's conditioning. If you do it over and over again, then in some rounds you use it, some rounds you don't. Even the rounds you don't use it, the enemies will have to respect that you could be using it. So they'll have to commit some type of resources to make sure that you're not using it, basically. So now I'm not mandating that you guys run Viper or don't run Viper. However, I do want you to run Brim and Raze, as those are like the highest win rate, highest pick rate agents, and for good reasons. But the rest of the agents are kind of up to you guys. I think Double Initiator is very good. Double Initiator, like any of these initiators are good. We can run like, you kind of have like your scan initiators that are good, like your Fade and your Tejo. Then you have your flash initiators, which are good, just like Sky and Gecko. These will be the best. And who knows why Double Initiator is good on this map.
There's a lot of angles to clear out, like a lot of lanes you have to push and get info on.
Yeah, for sure. And what's cool is if the defenders aren't contesting one of these lanes, all it takes is one drone to get that space, or like one Gecko flash, or one Fade dog, or one Sky dog. And if they're not there, you can just walk up there for free and like get orb and get the space. So it's just a great initiators are great tools for information and taking space. Especially on a map like this, where if you can just send one piece of util to get free map control, that's usually good. Because the defenders, what they can't do is they cannot spread out and like they can't aggro everything at once. They can't hold B long, hookah, short, and showers alone. They have to give up one of those lanes. So if you can send util there to see which one they're giving up, you can get that space for free. And then, or you can just put pressure on it. And from there you kind of figure out where you need to go. But okay, let's look at how to default. Okay, because defaulting is kind of the biggest skill we need to learn on this map.
In a future round.
It's what a lot of people don't know how to do, especially in low ranks, is to sit still. So we're gonna learn. One or two of you, when we're on attack, is gonna need to learn how to sit still. So let's watch how this. It's very boring, but let's watch how it's done. So look at the Vise. So Vise has put this wall on A short, which is gonna deny if they're aggroing this at all. It'll deny it. And Viper can still put up this wall so that the defenders have to have eyes on it. And then we have a flash in showers to get info on any defender aggression. So as we've talked about in defaults, your role is to like your goals when you're attacking and you're defaulting on attack is to get space on one of the lanes, like put pressure on a lane, and then get info on defender aggression or deny that aggression. So look at how we're doing that. We're getting space, B long, gonna farm orb, gonna put pressure towards B, and then we have one person just holding for info, and then we have another person holding for info on the A push. And just watch how patient these players are.
As soon as that wall is removed, Shy now is essentially tethered to the spot, just ensuring that nobody else pushes past it on the defense.
It's a good wall generally, but it's a good ante from MIBR to make sure that Shy can't leave, as you're saying. And now MIBR very active, though Artazine has fallen, trying to take a fight.
Could crack entirely to side open. Outlaw in the hands of Nozwa. Removes Kesnet.
This is everything over here towards A, though.
Yeah, creeping behind. That's a good flash.
Oh, what
Shy gets the
great info.
acknowledgement. Yeah, he knows that they're pushing deep past that line in showers, so pressure mounting. 50 seconds left onto the clock.
You got to know this is a good timing for Crew to go for the execute.
Now, Crew doesn't win this round, but you see how, like, this Viper didn't just try to solo push Hookah alone. Whenever I tell you guys the default, a lot of times what you do is this person gets antsy, gets bored, and they decide to push something alone to, like, make a play. And that's only really good if you're, like, down numbers. If you're not, like, a 3v5 and you got to make a play, like, okay. But, you know, we're, like, 5v5, and
Leave, as you're saying.
we're just holding down the space, just holding this angle. And it's annoying. It's annoying to have to play this way, but it's even more annoying to go up against this. Who here has played Bind in like a premier setting or even a comp setting, and you played against an enemy team that plays so slow and only executes like 30 seconds? Who has played that before?
I did.
Yeah, I know you have, Patrick. Anyone who was here last season did, because it happened to both teams. It is the most annoying thing in the world. But if you want to do that, if you want to, basically what that does, that slow play style, is it allows you to, like, you know, farm orbs, and what it does is it opens up an opportunity for the defenders to make a mistake. So like this guy peeking B long, for example, I think is a mistake. It's like he shouldn't have got away with that. But like, you know, pushing something, like you can bait them into making a mistake, and then you can easily pivot and go to weak site. That's like Bind is like once you figure out weak side, you just kind of pivot and just go there. You know what I mean? So so playing slow kind of allows you to do that because you can slowly like work space. You can, you know, condition this Viper wall. You can maybe go up there, maybe not. It forces people to fall off. Then you aggress somewhere. So it's just if you're gonna play a very default heavy comp, which is kind of the meta, or you're going up against a Vice, like you're gonna need to learn how to play patient and methodical and like be able to clear things with teammates and be able to just hold stuff stationary like this player.
Hey Blake, how
What's up?
do we counter that then? Like, let's say our enemies play like this. How do we counter that?
Look at this engagement again.
And now MIBR very active, though Artazine has fallen. Trying to take a
Watch
fight.
over here on A.
Could crack entirely to side open. Outlaw in the hands of Nozwa. Removes Kesnet.
This is everything over here towards A, though.
Yeah, creeping behind.
So what did these two players just do? What do I always refer to this as?
Painful play.
Yeah, there was no noise from the attacker. Well, there was some noise, like, you know, there's some people B long, kind of took a fight B long, but we don't hear anything else on any part of the map. Like, it's pretty dead. So what these two players did is they decided to just walk up and just take space together, and just them going through and clearing showers and possibly getting a flank means that these two players can stay on B and hold it, right? And these two players, if they don't see anything, they can just keep going and like get a good flank. But basically, to answer your question, Patrick, when there's a cut noise, when the enemies have cut noise, that is your cue to take space on one of these lanes, to just walk up and take space, or to send some sort of info utility to get information. So you could like say they were B long and now you don't hear them anymore and you're running like a Sky. It's like, oh, I don't hear them B long anymore. I'm going to send a flash, see if there's anything B long. Flash doesn't see anything. That means one teammate can rotate off towards A. You know?
Yeah, I got it.
So you either need to get information with
space,
utility,
or, like,
or you need to get information by just pushing up. Like, because say you don't have a Sky Flash, you could just and the enemies were B long and now they're not there anymore. You could just walk up B long, no cap. Just let's go up and push this. It's like, hey, we're up B long. Don't see anything mid. It's probably A, and then you just keep going, you know. So that's how you do it on like any map, by the way. Like, say we're talking about I don't know if Abyss is it's the next map. I don't know if it's the best example because it's a lot of just sight hits, but like say the enemies on Abyss like started A lot and then we had like a Vise shut them down, or like they got info Vise was here and now they've cut noise. If they cut noise after like 5-10 seconds, you could maybe just like send a couple people just walk A main and try to get a kill or just try to get info, you know? And it's like, hey guys, there's nothing A, rotate B, right? Because otherwise you're just going to be sitting back and playing way too passive. And like we've talked about Seesaw, but generally, like if you're playing like this, like all the way back, the attackers just have free reign on the map. So you wanna go like aggro on one of the lanes to put pressure and you know, just have a better time on defense. So like going back to bind, it's kind of similar. Like if you play back like this, where if you're on defense and you only hold behind this line here, and you're like all the way back here, you're gonna have a rough time. If it's dead noise and you don't know where the enemy team is, you have to just make a play somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you're down numbers. But
Yeah.
yeah, just I think the rule of thumb here, or just like the takeaway is, don't play back behind this line when you're on defense. You know, that's just a big one, and have something to where you can get info. If you don't go there, then at least send like some sort of util down so we get info. You know, and then we can
Yeah.
move. Then we can move people based off that info. You know, so. But any questions so far? I kind of just word salad a lot of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Nope.
No.
Okay, so and one thing to note is the attackers can rotate faster than the defenders if they're using the TPs. So like this rotate is further, like the defense rotate is gonna take longer than going TP or TP. So don't over rotate. You know, I was seeing this a lot on Pearl from the teams. Is we would hear some stuff B and we would rotate and we would give mid away and then they were able to just like pivot back and forth, or even like they would rotate here and we wouldn't have anyone. But on bind, it's like if you don't have info on something and you think they're rotating, instead of rotating through spawn, you can like go for a flank or something. Or like a really good way to counter a team that likes to rotate a lot is to do what MIBR was doing, where they push through showers. Because if the enemies end up TPing, it's very hard for the attackers to like fight this angle, you know, like this angle right here. So pushing showers is good. Pushing B long is good. Even pushing out hookah, it's all good.
If you're anchoring, is it better to just like play back and play retake, or like hold an aggressive angle?
So if you're anchoring and you're alone, like there's no one near you, you're just playing for info or playing to delay. Kind of depends on what your abilities are and your positioning is. But like you never want to solo hold a site. Like if, I mean, it always depends, right? But like say you're like a Jet or something, or a Raze. Say you're a Raze and you're alone on B, and you know it's like we thought they were A, but they're actually now they're going B. You're usually gonna just get run over by 5 people. Like they're just gonna push you from multiple angles. Best you'll get is 1 kill. So what you should probably do is play off site and just go for a kill and then back up, wait for your team, and then retake together. But if you have like a teammate with you, like this, then you want to fight, you know. But like if you're alone, holding an angle, holding space alone, it's like you're probably gonna get run over by initiator util. So it's better off to just hold passive. But if you have a teammate, you hold the space, you contest it, and delay enough for a teammate to come in flood and help you, you know.
That match against 100 Thieves.
So this is how to use the Viper wall here. This is the first round for this map. So let's just watch it.
MIBR's attack side look great. These comp changes to me feel like an adjustment for their attack side. Can they get enough defense rounds here? As we see Aspas potentially take first contact.
Yeah, he's potentially going to be tested up top.
Oh, they've slipped
Top of the
right
tanks.
through.
Just the back peeking through there. Shaneham's lucky to be alive here, but they know that they've lost control of this one. Still, Aspas looking this way, that way, doesn't really know which way to collect these kills, though. Still, 2 going to be falling. Added to the tally before the trade eventually came out.
Could have been disaster, couldn't it, this round?
So it doesn't really work out, but you can just see how much space they got for free. And, you know, that's just the good part of the wall. But I just want to note here, watch, we're in a 3 versus 4. Instead of just going to, like, we kind of have sight, but instead of going to plant, they're down numbers, so they know they have to get a kill before they go and actually plant.
Round for MIBR, and
And it doesn't work for them, but it's the right idea. So, just another thing to note. Let's look at post plants. B is interesting. If you're playing sight, you're playing up. I'm just putting random agents. This is a good setup with like 3 people. Now, it's always going to depend. If like your flank is open or something, you probably want to go and aggro like elbow. But this is generally if they're retaking from elbow and CT, like the normal retakes. This is the best setup to have. You just go sight. You just have one person here. Their contact. This person peeks off the contact. This person also peeks off the contact CT. This person jiggling elbow, and then this person can help fight elbow if they come out, basically. So that's like your first post plant. And like I said earlier, if you're getting pressure, say you get sight and you're getting pressured from flank, you want to take space. So you want to like send some sort of util or double clear elbow and take like elbow space and possibly even CT, like, or take this fight. Because if you're getting pushed from here, you need to take space or else you get collapsed from everything. So that's B. As for
Why
playing,
do you have like 4 people on site and nobody like long?
well, I mean, you could have someone long. It's really hard for them to help. I mean, I think if they're here, this is pretty good. These are not like required spots, but I think, yeah, having someone here is good too. If you have 5 or even if you have 4, if you hold it like this is pretty good as well. Yeah, this is good. It's just like this Viper can peek off the close contact. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. But yeah, as for playing post plant on B, if you're gonna play post plant, like you want to play back, you probably want to have elbow space and plant like here, and then you have something like where where the defenders, they don't know where you're playing for post plant, where they have to look at like 3 places at once. If you play post plant and you go back long like this, even if you have brim lineups and stuff, it's very risky because it's hard. The defenders can kind of shut you down and they can block you off because usually they have this wall or they can smoke you off. So if you're going to play post plant, you probably want to take elbow as well. This is a very hard elbow is very hard to clear in this post plant. And then for A, people don't really know the right smokes for A or like how to hold A. It can be tricky. If you just go out short, so you do like a rush, then you want to smoke. You can smoke like this to just get the safe plant down. You do 1 on top truck, 1 here. Problem with this is you have limited space. So like if you only have short, you need to take lamps for sure and hold across like this. And like this is not the best post plant, but sometimes, you know, the safe plant works. So yeah, this is a post plant if you're playing safe. And usually you have like a lurk and showers when you do this as well, because you just don't have a lot of space. You need to have some sort of like wild card in there to kind of bail you out if it goes wrong. And then the other smokes that you could have are these. This is if you're taking A through short and showers. So you go like 3 up short, 2 showers. You want to take them at the same time. Smoke off cross. And in this setup, you don't need to go U-Haul, because if there's like a shotgun there, you don't want to go in the U-Haul when they have a judge, right? But you want to maintain like shower space or bench, and go like